What if the celebrities you admire today looked nothing like they did just a few years ago? Some transformations are so dramatic they stunned the world and didn't come without a price. While many assume weight loss is simply discipline, the reality often involves pressure, sacrifice, and deeply personal struggles. This video reveals the truth behind those striking before and after moments, uncovering the real stories, hidden challenges, and one surprising truth most people never expect. Adele. Adele spent years living under an unforgiving spotlight, her appearance and personal life constantly analyzed by millions who felt entitled to weigh in. To the public, she appeared composed and firmly in control, a globally successful artist who handled fame with grace. But beneath that polished image was a quieter, more vulnerable reality shaped by mounting emotional pressure. A major turning point came with the end of her marriage to Simon Konecki. Unlike the dramatic narratives often associated with celebrity breakups, this was a deeply private loss that carried a lasting emotional impact. In the period that followed, Adele faced significant inner challenges, including episodes of anxiety that disrupted her sense of stability. These struggles had little to do with fame or outside criticism. They were rooted in a personal effort to regain emotional balance. During this uncertain time, she discovered an unexpected source of support: exercise. What started as a simple way to cope with stress gradually became a consistent and meaningful routine. Through regular workouts, she found moments of clarity and calm that had long been missing. Over time, her physical transformation attracted global attention, sparking widespread discussion about her weight loss. However, for Adele, the change was never about meeting public expectations or conforming to industry standards. It reflected something far more personal, a steady commitment to rebuilding her strength, restoring confidence, and moving forward with a renewed sense of control over her life. Joe Giudice. Joe Giudice once lived a life that from the outside seemed confident and secure. Known to many through The Real Housewives of New Jersey, he projected the image of someone in control. Yet beneath that surface, patterns of excess slowly took hold. Like others, under growing pressure, he leaned on unhealthy coping mechanisms, particularly frequent alcohol use, rather than addressing deeper personal and financial issues. The turning point came when he was convicted of federal fraud charges, including tax-related offenses, and sentenced to prison. This moment didn't just take away his freedom, it removed the distractions that had long hidden his struggles. In the rigid structure of incarceration, Joe was forced into reflection. Without access to his former lifestyle, he turned to physical exercise as a way to manage stress and regain a sense of control. Over time, discipline began to replace old habits. His daily routine reshaped not only his body but also his mindset. By the time of his release in 2019, the transformation was clear. He appeared leaner, stronger, and noticeably healthier. However, his challenges were far from over. Soon after his release, Joe was deported to Italy, separating him from his family and forcing him to rebuild his life from scratch. His transformation was never just physical. It reflected a deeper shift rooted in accountability, resilience, and the difficult process of starting over after significant personal and legal setbacks. Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was once the very definition of strength, discipline, and elite athletic performance. During his years in the NBA, his body was conditioned for constant competition. But like many professional athletes, retirement brought a profound shift. Without the structure of daily training and high-intensity games, his routine changed, and over time, his weight steadily increased, eventually raising serious concerns about his health. The turning point came when Barkley received a direct and sobering warning from his doctor about the long-term risks associated with obesity, especially as he got older. Reports indicated his weight had climbed above 350 pounds, placing him at increased risk for conditions such as heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Faced with that reality, he made a clear decision to take control of his health. In recent years, Barkley openly shared that he used Mounjaro, a medication originally developed to treat type 2 diabetes that can also aid weight loss by regulating appetite and blood sugar. Combined with meaningful lifestyle changes, this approach helped him lose more than 60 pounds, leading to visible and meaningful improvements in his overall well-being. Barkley's story isn't about chasing perfection, it's about accountability and adaptation. His transformation reflects a challenge many older adults face: maintaining health after major life changes requires intention and effort. Rather than focusing on appearance, his journey emphasizes making informed choices to protect long-term health and quality of life. Jorge Nava. Jorge Nava spent years making impulsive choices that gradually led him down a difficult and unstable path. Known to some through 90 Day Fiancé, his life took a decisive turn when he was arrested and later sentenced to prison after being caught transporting a large quantity of marijuana. What followed was more than punishment. It was a period of isolation that stripped away daily distractions and forced him to confront the consequences of his actions. During his time behind bars, Jorge began to reflect more deeply on his life and direction. In those quieter moments, he turned to reading, including personal development works like Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. These ideas encouraged him to rethink his mindset and accept responsibility for his future, rather than blame circumstances. Gradually, he built structure into his daily routine. He improved his diet, committed to consistent exercise, and developed discipline where there had once been instability. Over time, the results became undeniable. Jorge lost more than 130 pounds, but beyond the physical change, he gained a renewed sense of purpose, self-control, and direction. By the time of his release in 2020, his transformation was striking not just in how he looked, but in how he approached life. His story is a reminder that real change begins internally. While circumstances can push someone to the edge, lasting transformation comes from accountability, self-reflection, and steady, deliberate effort. Billy Gardell. Billy Gardell has long been admired for his warmth, humor, and relatable presence on screen, especially through shows like Mike and Molly. But behind that easygoing charm, he was quietly facing a serious and escalating health challenge. At one point, his weight approached 400 pounds, placing him at high risk for complications linked to obesity, including type 2 diabetes, a condition he had been managing for years. The turning point came during the COVID-19 pandemic. For Gardell, the danger wasn't abstract. He understood that his existing health issues made him especially vulnerable to severe illness. That realization pushed him to take an honest look at his lifestyle and commit to meaningful, lasting change. Instead of chasing quick fixes, he focused on rebuilding his relationship with food, choosing a more balanced diet, and sticking to consistent, sustainable habits. Over time, the results were significant. Gardell lost more than 150 pounds, and with that transformation came major improvements in his overall health. He has since shared that his diabetes is now well managed, reflecting the combined impact of disciplined lifestyle changes and proper medical care. Today, his motivation is deeply personal. As a father, Gardell wants to be present for his son not just now, but for many years ahead. His journey resonates strongly with older audiences, serving as a powerful reminder that it's never too late to take control of your health and make changes that truly matter. Action Bronson. Action Bronson built much of his public image around indulgence, rich food, late nights, and a lifestyle that openly celebrated excess. For years, that persona was part of his appeal, but over time, it came with consequences. His weight climbed beyond 400 pounds, And while fans saw the larger-than-life character, the reality raised serious concerns about his long-term health. The turning point came during the COVID-19 pandemic when the pace of daily life slowed and created space for reflection. Bronson made a deliberate decision to take control. He began waking up early, often around 4 a.m., to follow a structured fitness routine that included boxing and high-intensity interval training. These workouts became more than physical effort. They provided discipline and mental clarity. At the same time, he redefined his relationship with food. Moving away from constant indulgence, he adopted a more intentional approach, focusing on protein balance and moderation. This wasn't a temporary diet, but a lasting shift in mindset and daily habits. Gradually, the results became undeniable. Bronson lost more than 150 pounds, gaining a leaner physique, improved stamina, and better overall health. Yet for him, the transformation went deeper than appearance. As he has emphasized, real change comes from daily decisions. His journey highlights a message that resonates strongly with older audiences. Lasting health is built through consistency, accountability, and the willingness to take control no matter when that realization begins. Randy Jackson. Randy Jackson, widely recognized for his long-running role on American Idol, faced a life-altering moment when he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. That diagnosis forced him to confront the serious health risks tied to his weight and long-standing lifestyle habits. In 2003, Jackson made the pivotal decision to undergo gastric bypass surgery, a major medical step that helped him lose more than 100 pounds in a relatively short time. But as he has emphasized over the years, the procedure was only the beginning. The real challenge came afterward, maintaining that weight loss and building sustainable habits to support his long-term health. Rather than turning to extreme diets or rigid restrictions, Jackson focused on balance. He learned how to enjoy food in moderation while making more mindful, consistent choices. Regular physical activity became part of his routine, reinforcing the idea that lasting change requires discipline and persistence, not quick fixes. Over time, he not only maintained his weight loss, but also became an advocate for healthier living. He went on to co-found Unify Health Labs, aiming to help others better manage their nutrition and overall lifestyle. Jackson's journey highlights an important truth, especially for older adults. There is no single solution. Medical intervention can provide a strong starting point, but lasting success depends on daily commitment. True transformation happens quietly through consistent choices made over time, often when no one else is watching. Angela Dean. Angela Dean became widely known for her bold, outspoken personality on 90 Day Fiancé. But behind that public image, her health had been steadily declining. Years of smoking, excess weight, and ongoing medical concerns placed her at increased risk for serious complications. Eventually, she reached a point where continuing on the same path no longer felt sustainable. Determined to change, Angela chose to undergo multiple surgical procedures within a relatively short period, including breast reduction, liposuction, and gastric sleeve surgery. These were significant medical interventions, each carrying its own risks, especially when combined. While headlines often highlight how intense this approach was, such decisions are typically made under close medical supervision with careful evaluation of a patient's overall condition. The recovery process was far from easy. Like many who undergo major surgery, Angela faced weeks, if not months, of discomfort, limited mobility, and strict lifestyle adjustments. Progress required patience and consistency. Over time, however, the physical changes became clear. She lost close to 100 pounds, improving her mobility and reducing several of the health risks she had previously faced. For Angela, the decision was deeply personal. It wasn't just about appearance or public attention, it was about survival control and the desire for a better quality of life. Her journey reflects a broader truth. Meaningful transformation often comes through difficult choices, and lasting change requires both medical support and personal commitment. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next one.